We're back in the studio, everybody, and it's only been a few minutes since our last conversation, but we thought we would hit record again because we kept going and thought it was worth sharing some thoughts about where the conversation went. We got into a conversation about not just why you want to hire a Sitefinity partner, but why you want to hire a Sitefinity partner when you do have an internal team that is working on the project delivery. And that is something that all of us have a lot of experience with. So we thought we'd hit record and share a bit of those thoughts. Todd, you can start us off again. Working in conjunction with a client team on developing a Sitefinity project, what's been your experience and where's the big value that Smooth Fusion can bring forward?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we've got a big one of those going on right now, where the team has our client has a lot of experience with Sitefinity among their own team, but it's a small team, and they have other priorities as well. And
Yeah.
so we're able to supplement their team, help them with everything from QA to of course, dev resources and all, and it works really well. One of the, our team has been a play nice with others team since we started, because a lot of our customers are actually other agencies. So we're used to working in collaboration with folks. We're not always doing the design work. Sometimes True Matter's doing the design work, and so having that model that allows us to supplement where it's necessary, and help them particularly stay on track with the latest things in Sitefinity. There's a lot of things changing and coming down the pipe that they may not be aware of as a heads down internal team, and we can help with that as well.
Sounds pretty good to me. I would echo that from the flywheel perspective. It's really can be quite a thriving project when we just have that upfront alignment on where do you guys want to contribute, how do we fit into the overall project solution and resourcing, and there's so many ways to streamline team collaboration now, and a lot of tools, especially if you're using Sitefinity Cloud, but across the board, it does make technical, creative, and content collaboration a lot more practical than perhaps it's ever been. I'll queue up you now, Dean, on that front. Working in collaboration with an internal team, does that provide sort of opportunity or friction? What do clients need to know when they have that resource internally, and they're considering True Matter in parallel?
Well, from our perspective, we're always working with internal teams. That is a standard way that we work. And part of that is because we're a UX team and a sort of a highly seasoned UX team. And most internal teams simply don't have these types of resources to bring to bear, particularly on deep and complex projects. So it's very common for us to bring that perspective in and to bring it directly to a Sitefinity implementation. We're often working with extremely talented internal development and or marketing teams, often both, and also teams with deep content benches, right? Lots of people working on content. So we end up sort of working with them on how to effectively use Sitefinity for governance, for instance.
I love that. And I would have to say that if you're considering this, it's only going to work if your internal team is open-minded about bringing in
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
to collaborate with, right? We've certainly been in situations where we enter in and there's internal friction. So you've got to filter that out first. But boy, does it work well when we can find the right way to leverage everybody's strength, skill set, access to the brand, the information, the stakeholders, and technical capabilities.
Well, and
Lino, you're going to say something there, Todd? Go
yeah, let
ahead.
me throw in here before we go to Lino, because it reminded me of something. Really one of the real advantages too is that when you hire our teams, you're hiring a whole range of people and capabilities. each of our teams has at least one Sitefinity champion, the Progress Sitefinity champions. We've got, and so you may be primarily using the skills of one of our developers or something like that, but you have access to so much more than that.
Yeah. We could probably give a few examples of that working out to everybody's benefit for sure. Lino, when you're working, in conjunction with internal teams, how have you seen that work most effectively with the kind of services that you bring forward?
I'm actually in the same boat like Dean, actually. I always find myself working with internal teams. And there are a lot of different ways I work with them. So a team will be very, very good in .NET. They just decided to go with Sitefinity. And they start by saying, let's go ahead and get a few days of training with Lino, because he's been using Sitefinity for a long time. I have 7 different classes that I offer for business or for development and whatever. And then they feel like, okay, we learned the ropes in these 2 days. Now it's up to us to play around. And then at the end of the training, they say, like, we would like to actually have you on a retainer to be able to run something by you. And this is to be really not more than a training. It's opening up a new way of working with that customer. So they don't come and say, hey, there is the entire project, you take it and deliver it for us. A lot of times it's that they want to continue with it, but every quarter or something, they want to come and have a meeting with me, show me the documentation, show me the code in GitHub, for instance, so I can give them some pointers. And then they come in like a lot of different companies. Lino, we would like you to run a security audit on the entire Sitefinity production system. I want you to run a performance audit. Let us know why these pages are not running very fast. And we've done everything, but it's still taking 3 seconds to load. These are the things that they're looking for. The third and last one is that sometimes for cost-related issues is that they decided to go, for instance, for the Far East or Middle East for companies to take over for much less cost, for instance. But they want a partner here, for instance, in the United States that will review the code, will review the quality coming in from there. So it doesn't have to be completely written by one of us or the Prove It Alliance. And sometimes we do get that. They don't have an internal team, and they want Todd or Scott to be able to write all the code, and they want Dean to make it very user-friendly for the user interface, and they want to train their business analysts and so on. So we can do that. But in reality, it's a lot more of the architecture, knowing that you're doing the right thing, security, performance, futuristic technology that you know about that's coming up. This is the value that we bring to the table. Does that make sense?
Awesome. Yep. And I think, evidenced by this conversation, the value of the Proven Alliance is access to all of these capabilities, skills, and experience. So, no matter what capabilities you have internally, I'm willing to bet we've got a few that may be a little lighter on your bench. So let us know if the Proven Alliance can take a closer look at collaborating with your team. Thanks for the chat, gents. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks.